Hello, and welcome to episode 28 of the Cooler Guild. I am Coop, and joined with me, as always, is my co-host, Van.
What up?
We are recording on Tuesday, March 25th, 2025. On today's episode, we'll be discussing Rain's massive win over North Carolina. Oh, I know. From Saturday evening, as well as doing our usual look at other highlights and lowlights from around the league over the weekend. How was your enjoyment of the win? Just quickly.
Fantastic. I've watched Jordan Bugg's goal probably like 100 times.
Yeah.
Mostly on mute.
Yeah. Anything other of note from your weekend?
No.
Yeah, I feel like that's what else is there to talk about.
This was the greatest. This was the greatest thing that's happened to me.
Yeah. So before we get into the rest of it, we got some housekeeping.
The Cooler Guild is part of the Sounder at Heart podcast network. You can either listen to us on our public feed, or if you're a Sounder at Heart subscriber, on the private unified feed with the other podcasts on the network. If you'd like to become a subscriber, just visit our page at sounderatheart.com/the Cooler Guild. New subscribers get 10% off the normal rate, and you'll help support everything we're doing.
I'm ready to get into this.
I'm
do it. so stoked for this. Let's get the match recap out of the
I've been waiting for this day for so many months.
I know, for many months. The match recap, we'll get that out of the way so we can dive into how incredible we feel and how this was to watch. The Seattle Reign faced the North Carolina Courage on the road for their second game of the season. Despite some availability woes and a less than stellar record in North Carolina, the Reign were eager to change their narrative. They came out with a high press and were able to get on the board first with a great attacking buildup that resulted in one sweet Jess Fishlock goal. In the second half, Jordan Bugg helped cushion the Reign's lead with an absolute ridiculous golazo from 30-plus yards out. Roughly 3 minutes later, the Courage got one back, but it ultimately was not enough, as the Reign's defense held strong, earning all 3 points and maintaining the Reign's undefeated 2025 record.
It continues.
I love it. You said we might win, and I don't know if you, in that moment when you said that, realized we were playing Carolina and how bad we were there. But
yeah.
Who cares? You were right.
I knew.
Okay.
Well, no, I actually said this could be the last game that I could say it.
Okay.
That's what I said. And then we were like, yeah, we are playing North Carolina, but I'm like, I don't know. The positivity vibes are flowing through me again.
They're flowing with the team.
But for good reason. Good reason.
They're flowing with the team. I mean, the team, I'm going to bring it up just because it was my top positive, but the team is just flowing with chemistry.
Yeah. They're just exuding chemistry.
General notes.
Yeah, there was a bunch of stuff coming into the match.
Yeah, I mean, there's several notable injuries, people out as well. But as Harvey's discussed, she wants to be rotating that front, setup. So guess what? We got to kind of see more of that.
Oh yeah, there were only 2 changes from the starting lineup from last game.
Well, Darlene's balling out.
I know. So Haydn was out. She was questionable. But so Mercado started for her. Mm-hmm. And then Shea Holmes was out this week, excused absence, I believe. So Emily Mason went on it right back, and Cree swapped to left. Worked
out pretty well, do you think?
Mm-hmm. I think so.
That was a first start for Mercado too, and that was a joy to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, these kids are fun to watch. It's also Fishlock's 200th NWSL match.
She had to score for that.
Yeah, something had to happen.
Yeah, so getting into maybe some notable stats. I love a notable stat. They brought this up on the broadcast, but I did think this was kind of interesting. Not that the Carolina Courage have lost this year yet, but they have only lost 2 consecutive games at home, like one other time in their entire history being in North Carolina.
Yeah.
They don't lose at home very often.
No, and that goes to our previous record, their previous record at home against Seattle, all time, including playoffs. North Carolina has won 9 games against us, lost 1, and drawn us 0 times. So we've only taken 3 points from them.
It's ever.
Out of a possible 30.
I think it was a playoff match for one of them. But yeah, I don't like when you read that thing, you're kind of just like, well, this isn't going to be the Reign team to do it, right? Given our season from last year, you're just, I don't know. But you go and watch, they've got this new video that they put out with, I don't know, if you haven't seen it yet, go to YouTube, the Reign channel. They kind of give you a little match recap, but it's like a, I don't know, cinema. It's like very well done and really well produced, but they kind of put a camera in the middle of the huddle and you kind of get the energy that they were coming into that game with. And when I heard that, I was just like, if I would have heard that speech, I would have been like, there's no way we're leaving here without a win.
Yeah, and I think too, there just seems to be, and maybe we're just seeing it more this year because of the advancement in the amount of money that the club has and the kind of availability that the team availability we're being able to see, and just like the visibility with, them really expanding more on the social channels, especially in the video side.
Yeah.
And so that's just been really neat, and I think it makes fans feel more connected to the team, but you also get a better kind of behind the scenes look at how the team is interacting with each other and the kind of energy that they're giving each other, which then translates onto the field.
Yeah, something that I thought was interesting too. I mean, I saw this on, I think it was the broadcast. So the huddle was really good with the whole team, but then I saw like the defense kind of like, meet up to, which I'm sure they do this every game, but the defense kind of got together too, and you can kind of just see them hyping up each other, and kind of like Phoebe specifically was just like, all right, like, let's go, like, we're gonna get this done, like, stay focused. And they had some work to do in this game, the defense for sure, especially in the second part of the game after that second goal that we got. But I just feel like they came in there with like an insane mental game, and they stayed on it. It's fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, there was a little bit of a breakdown. I wouldn't call it a breakdown, though, even in the second half after they went up 2-0.
Yeah.
But there wasn't the kind of lapse that we have seen in the past. So that's an improvement.
Yeah.
And I just think the chemistry with the team and the fact that there was an 11 pass sequence in the lead up to Jess Fishlock's goal is just... That's not a team that we've been for a while.
No.
And we talked about it a little bit last week. You're seeing that connection. And you're not seeing as much players playing to a space where they would assume their teammate would be.
Mm-hmm.
And then nobody's there. It seems like they're all kind of on the similar page and know where each other are going to be. And the cool thing is that's just going to get even more solidified as we play more games.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. It's exciting.
Yeah, it's super exciting. Positives. Let's roll into the positives. We got a lot to talk about this game. So, positive number 1 I had listed, Jess Fishlock.
Any questions that we had about her maybe, taking retirement, getting out? I mean, even with the Euros coming, but, a player like that could just slide into the Euros. Play in the Euros, get it done, and be done.
Yeah.
That's not who she is. And, as little or maybe as much of a struggle that she had last season, something's just working this year.
Yeah, it's hard for me to sit here and say like she had a bad season last year, given how bad everything was last year.
Yeah.
I don't know how you're supposed to kind of go in there and try to affect game when nothing's working. And that wasn't her fault. Like, you would hope and maybe expect a player like her quality to change games a little bit more than she did last year, obviously, but she wasn't fully healthy, right? Yeah. The pieces around her quality was kind of not there for parts of this season. And now there's just a completely different look. And I think that these young players that she's kind of being surrounded by is giving her this kind of extra motivation and like excitement, because they're really exciting players.
Yeah, as well as the fact that she's able to play a more comfortable role for herself.
Oh, absolutely.
The midfield is more, we just have more talent.
Mm-hmm.
And that, I think that allows her the freedom that makes her the player that she is. Yeah. And being able to be in places where she can make change and she can be effective. And last year she was stretched so thin.
I don't know, when we're getting to these games where things are kind of like getting close, and we're like looking pretty good, she is that player that changes those games.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what gets me excited. I was talking to somebody on Reddit, as one does, and someone was trying to. There was like a match week 1. What would you want your team to do differently for next week or whatever?
I think I saw this. Yeah.
Yeah, and I had interacted because somebody was like, I want to see this person, and this person like not start for the rain, and they included just Fishlock, and a few of the other ones kind of made sense to me. But I was like, I agree with most of this except for just Fishlock. And then what do we see this week? Just Fishlock balling out. And that was also a ridiculous finish that she got on that too.
Yeah, left-footed.
Yeah, and just skies it into the fucking net right there. I mean, it was beautiful.
Well, and the clearance that came out to Jordan Bug, which she ended up taking a really great first touch and scoring, came because Jess Fishlock was crashing the box.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's just what she did. That's what she did last game.
Mm-hmm.
That other goal was from her just kind of getting in the way and getting the ball turned over and everything.
Yep.
I love it. I love seeing this from her. I was watching the game with my wife, and then she had a friend in town who was picking something up from our house, and we were watching the game together, and our friend's like, can I guess how old that person is? And it was just Fishlock. And she was having a really good game, right? So it wasn't like she was just like, I bet she's old because she's playing badly, but she was really impressed with her, and she's like, I bet she's 38. She got it spot on. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but for her to be doing this at 38 is mind-blowing.
I'm 36. My body can't move like that.
No, it's great. It's great. She's got this new energy about her with all these young players to feed off of. Maybe they're just actually drinking the youth. Something. Yeah. What do you want to bring up next?
Well, there's a kind of a callback I wanted to pull from last episode.
Okay.
When we were talking about Laura Harvey's press conference after the Gotham match, and her talking about Maddie Darlene. And how she just wants her to, there's not always going to be people with you because you're so fast. And so just take the shot. Get yourself into a dangerous space and take the shot.
I didn't know she could dribble like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And cut in and get shots off.
What?
She had to make Casey Murphy come up with 3 big saves, 2. A couple of them were off target just by a hair.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I think she had to make Casey Murphy make like 2 saves.
Yeah, she was in that box. I mean, getting around defenders.
I think we're watching something incredible start.
Yeah, between her and Bug, I mean, well done to whoever's finding these players and signing them, because
it's Laura Harvey.
Yeah, I mean, I guess she coached a lot of them when they were on the youth teams, and she knew exactly who to bring in when she, was coaching for the Reign again. So I'm much appreciated. Thank you.
I'm very excited to see her in upcoming matches. I definitely think she's a starting player.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I don't want to overdo it though.
I don't want to overdo it, and I don't want to make a player who's new get discouraged because they're not scoring and then fall into a slump. But I don't think she's... I mean, I don't know her, obviously. I'm just watching her on the field, but I feel like she's on the verge of something really, really great and scoring, getting a couple goals in, and I hope that happens sooner than later.
Yeah. I think when Lynn gets back, she's going to have a lot of really good feedback for her.
And it's going to be a challenge figuring out that front line once Lynn is back.
Yeah. I think, Lynn's such a, vet. She can figure it out. That is definitely a dynamic thing that everyone else is also going to have to learn to adjust to. So,
well, yeah. And then you've got so many other players. I mean, you've got Coco, you've got Haidema, you've got Srnogorcevic, who I would argue actually played pretty well this match.
She did. She read the game really, really well and knew where to be. Kind of had pretty good awareness of where everybody else was around her too.
And her header wasn't too far off.
No, it wasn't.
And we haven't had a chance like that in a hot minute.
No, I was very impressed with her game. I would say the last game, lacked some things from her, but that was another player that the person on Reddit was saying should be benched. I'm like, you gotta trust Harvey sometimes. You
But
gotta
she was
trust
an
her.
integral part of the fishlock goal.
Yeah, she's also, I don't know, she's like a physical, like, she's not small, right? So she can kind of hold up and do what she needs to do on that side to make sure that we're getting numbers with her. Yeah, I really enjoy watching her play. I also
Yeah.
like seeing her reactions. I feel
Oh
like
god,
it's
she's
maybe,
funny.
yeah.
She's funny. And like you said, I mean, we're already starting to talk about this, but your next positive in here is just so many players had a great game. It's difficult to pick one standout. Is this really what chemistry looks
Yeah,
like?
yeah. I mean, no one had
It's
a
been
bad
so
game.
long, I forgot.
No one even had a mediocre game. They all had very good games. Some even had great games.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. I got, watched the game back. I kind of didn't take notes the first time I watched it through because I was watching with other people. But like I went and watched the game back, and it was like fun to watch. And it was just like every single person was just doing something so helpful for another person.
Yeah, it's very much, and especially like you saw that come out in the defending this game when Curry would get stuck up top. Sometimes you would see G enter into the back line.
Mm-hmm.
It really feels like the communication is there and they're well organized.
Yeah.
And this is how a Laura Harvey team traditionally looks.
Oh, the good old days.
The good old days. I don't want to overhype it because it's been 2 games. But
sure, but it's a big result. You can't.
it's a huge result. And it, as somebody that had to watch through last season and talk about it every week.
There was no game like this.
No.
There was never a complete game. We might sneak out a win, but it was never in like a repeatable, I'm confident we could do this again kind of way.
Yeah.
I'm feeling good about it. I don't care.
I think we might be good.
I think we have a chance of being good. I think we have a very good chance of being good. My next one, I wanted to shout out Claudia Dickey.
Yeah.
Claudia Dickey with the claws out, the lobster claws. I noticed people were doing that at the Rain game. Did you see that?
I did.
When Claudia makes a big save, everyone puts their little, not everybody, but more people should put their little Claudia claws. So I was doing that in my house during the game. And I was getting mad when my wife and her friend weren't doing it, because by the end we were all doing it, or my wife maybe wasn't partaking, but my friend, I was getting her to join because she was just making so many saves at the end. She had to.
Yeah. And I will say there's saves she should make.
Some of them were tricky.
Some of them were tricky, yes. But if we want her to be a good goalkeeper, this is what we need to see.
Yes.
And yeah. I think it's great.
Yeah. I think she deserves the shout out because she did make sure that we got away with 3 points.
For sure. So I think that also comes down to, though, the defense keeping players like Jaden Shaw.
Oh, yeah.
In line.
Yeah, because she got up there, but it never amounted to anything.
Claudia Dickey did make one really good save, I think, down to her left-hand side. That was what I call in the triangle of death, which is like if you reach down, if you put your arms at your side and then kind of reach them out and reach down and try and get as close to your body as possible, it's the space between your arm and your leg. Mm-hmm. And that a space like that so close to that area is really hard for a goalkeeper to save. Mm. And she's able to get down and get to those balls. And I think she's playing really well. Yeah. And I will eat my words.
It could be the pressure of having a backup, though, that's just foaming at the mouth to take your spot.
Which was kind of like what we were talking about, that dynamic there where there's really no other option. And now we have another option in Cassie Miller.
It's true.
So she might be feeling the pressure. Yeah.
Cassie Miller was hyped up after the game, too. She looked so happy about that result. So that, to me, looks like a keeper that is invested and interested in maybe what could happen for her future playing there.
Yeah.
We don't have it on the positives, but obviously we need to talk about Jordan Bugg's goal. Because we didn't need to even put it in there because it was so obvious. Jordan Bugg, not only is she a ridiculous center back, but apparently she can score absolute screamers.
She just doesn't, I don't know. It just looked physically impossible.
Her form was like so effortless. Like
she's like a little gazelle with the follow through.
Yeah.
They always used to tell us in like old school soccer camp, like after you take your shot, hop the creek, land on your shooting foot. And like that's literally what she did.
The technique was so good. I've never seen somebody just do something so beautiful. It was it was so nice to see.
It was incredible. And just the fucking audacity, right? For her to just pop up, take that first touch, which got just far enough ahead of her that she could just wind up.
I loved seeing, I love watching the replay for many reasons, but I think my favorite part is seeing like everyone else like running the opposite direction.
Yeah.
They're all, because no one's like, Jordan Bugs.
G stopped. G knew it was going to happen.
Yeah,
if you look at G in the replays, you just see her kind of look.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. And I will, I'm not going to, maybe it was something to do with me, but I don't know if you see me wearing my new jersey. But
Turn around and see it. Nice.
I knew. It came that morning of the game. My Bug jersey came the morning of the game.
So I did have an idea. If anybody wants to do this, after she does something great, somebody needs to make a bug spray sign. It's like a little 2-pole.
Yeah, I've seen the people also been saying they're bugging out for Jordan Bug.
Yeah, I did Blue Sky that.
Yeah. Bug Brigade is going strong.
Bug Brigade, line up.
It's unreal. She's absolutely unreal. Laura Harvey, thank you.
Yeah.
There were a few negatives. We'll roll into that.
Did you want to talk about Laura Harvey's jacket though?
Oh yeah, I do. Love a good jacket. Laura Harvey's jacket on the sideline. Did you notice it? Yeah,
it was like a corduroy.
Yeah, I went and found it. It's on clearance at Nordstrom. Which I love a clearance jacket, but it was like pretty expensive usually, and they had my size. But I already have a jacket almost exactly like that. It doesn't have that nice little button collar.
Oh, your Blue Sounders one? Or is it a corduroy one?
It's the Sounders jacket that they had worn that they embroidered, but mine's not
Adidas
embroidered.
One, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
It's a really nice jacket. I love that jacket, and I feel like that was like the Nike version, but the corduroy was an extra nice, classy touch. So shout out Laura Harvey. Great jacket. Keep wearing cool jackets and I'll shout them out.
Like she shouts out Susie's.
Yeah.
Susie's cool shirts.
That's why I was like, I could shout out Laura. Laura needs to get some love on her fashion for, all of her compliments to Susie. It's the least she deserves. I know she's always listening to the Cooler Guild and waiting for us to mention her jacket choices. Anyways, so negatives. This is something I brought up last week, and I'm getting a little nervous watching it. I know we're not saying it's a pattern yet, but
it's not a pattern.
Well,
because last week we got scored on right after the second half started.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like restarts, right? So we're not talking just half starts. I'm talking about restarts also.
Right, but that chance after Fishlock scored when Jaden Shaw got in, that was a half chance.
I don't know.
It was a half chance. It was shit.
But we weren't controlling it, so that made me nervous.
But it was taken care of.
Okay, but I'm just saying it made me nervous. And then when the second half kicked off, they also had a pretty good chance. Like they had a chance too. We did handle them. I'm saying we did handle them. And then the goal that they did get was 3 minutes after the Bug goal. So that's not what I want to see. And
that was also just like a weird goal.
Super weird goal. Super, super weird. It didn't.
Jordan Bug kind of got.
She got cooked.
She got cooked.
She got cooked. She went in full commitment and it did not work.
Yeah, she's just got to kind of hold her ground there. But that's a learning thing.
I would have been kind of maybe like that after scoring an absolute ridiculous goal.
Well, and like a couple shots
down.
Before that, they were showing her face and she was like backing up like.
Yeah, I'm like, girl, I get it. I get it. But settle down. It's only two. They get one more and it might be a problem.
Yeah. So I don't think she'll do that again. I mean, she'll still score, hopefully.
I mean, it was her first goal. So first goal, nerves, excitement, we're at least over that.
She got cooked, but also Emily Mason was like straight up on the players. So they're like the marking was there. It's not like the players were unmarked.
And
right?
It just trickled in.
Yeah, and it was like a back. And then I was kind of being like, well, why didn't Claudia Dickey dive for that? And it was just like, it took her a while to see it.
Yeah.
Because it had to go through the legs of two players. And then also there were two players sliding in trying to stop it. I don't want to get cleated in the face.
No.
So
it just was kind of
looked bad. Right. It looked bad, but it didn't. I don't know. It
was a bad moment.
Yeah, I think that's a fixable mistake, though.
Yeah, it didn't seem like it was like the entire defense got broken down because North Carolina was brilliant.
Exactly.
That's the stuff you got to worry about more.
Mm-hmm.
What do you got next?
I don't know why this man has a job.
Or why he covers so many games, at least.
That? I might be able to listen to him like once a year.
Yeah.
But he doesn't fucking shut up. I need to make like shut up Mike Watts pins, like the shut up Alexi
He doesn't
pins.
shut up, but like it's about stuff that's not pertinent to the game, right?
No. So with the Jordan Bug goal, they're talking about you can hear it in the replay when it plays. There's not been a dearth of goalkeeper talent. Oh, what is that? What a goal. And it's like, well, shut up. Stop saying things to fill the space.
Yeah, you can be quiet.
You can be quiet. You can tell people what's actually happening.
Yeah.
You can put out fun stats.
We were deprived of a very, very good call on Jordan.
There was
Bugs.
another, I think it was the international feed.
Yeah.
Had a different.
Yeah, they had a very good call on that.
And I saw that after I put the first one on my story, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna put the other one. And I was like, here's it without the shitty commentary.
Maybe we should email it to Mike. This is how you do it.
And it's always just so like when he talks, I don't know. I think I just over it. And he covers so many games.
Yeah.
And he does all of the USL.
It's too much.
Pro games. He's their main guy. I don't know if he does all of them, but does he just like not talk when he's done, or is this how he's like all the time?
I hope I never find out.
Fair.
Last negative, I had to bring it up. The Carry 5K is still going strong around the stadium.
Always.
Just a personal pet peeve of mine.
Do you want to tell people what you mean by that?
Yeah, if you didn't catch our episode that we covered last year when they went to North Carolina, but like, it's like watching ants in an ant farm. Like those little ant farm things you maybe had as a kid, right from this, I didn't have one, but you know what I'm talking about. You can just see.
Like the Lemmings game?
Yeah, there's just people moving all the time, and I'm just like, go sit in your seat. But it's like a whole sporting complex. So I don't really know what's going on, but it's really
a stadium in a complex.
Yeah.
So there's entry into it, but I think it's their walkways. Their walkways are so visible. Well, that's all you see.
Yeah, but they also like they have like a walkway that goes through the front row.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, they need to block off something maybe, because it's so distracting for someone like me at least. I don't think it was as bad because it got a little bit darker on the date. I feel like maybe it was the daytime last time.
Well, it was daytime in the beginning of the game.
And it was also like super busy the last time, so it was even worse than this one. But I just wanted to make note that I still hate it.
Yeah, I also did look up the park that they're in, like the sporting center they're in.
Yeah,
they do have a cross country track that you can, or like a cross country.
So go do your 5K there.
Yeah,
we don't need to do it in the stadium.
Yeah, go run your cross country outside.
Thank you.
Okay.
Whoa, so drama not spicy enough for you?
Not enough hotheads in this week's matchups?
Want to add a kick to your game day meal?
Spice up your life with Hacks and Ferments. Handcrafted in Georgetown and made with the best local ingredients from across the Pacific Northwest. Specializing in unique, small batch fermented hot sauces and vinegars. Hacks and Ferments brings bold flavors and natural fermentation together for something truly special.
Whether you're a heat seeker or you're just looking to elevate your cooking, you'll find something you love at hacksandferments.com. That's HAXANFERMENTS.com.
And right now, if you use code SOUNDERATHEART at checkout, you'll get a hot sauce completely free with your order. Again, Go to hacksandferments.com. Use code Sounder at Heart, all one word, at checkout for free hot sauce with your order.
Hacks and Ferments is a proud sponsor of the Sounder at Heart podcast network. Post-match presser notes. Did you listen to that? Did you watch it?
I did.
I don't know if there's anything super of note that we haven't already covered.
I did like that Harvey said again, I don't know if we would have done that last year when talking about being able to close out the game.
Yeah, absolutely. That was nice to see because that's how I felt as well.
Something dumb would have happened.
For sure.
Like during the Louisville at home game.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, we might win. And then we give up a goal and, oh, God.
Yeah. I think the one thing maybe I just wanted to cover, if people didn't catch this, she talked about the injuries that we had, and she was quote unquote hopeful that they might be back in some capacity next week. I don't know that includes Linby and Dolo, just to, dampen expectations on that a little bit, because she was a high and low ankle sprain.
Yeah.
So it just takes a little bit more time to recover. And she sounded like Lynn was very disappointed. This is on a podcast. She was like, this happened like the week before the season started, so it couldn't have been worse timing. But what grass field was she on when she did this? That's what I'm wondering, because she said she stepped into like a little divot or something like that.
They have a grass field it.
Okay. Listen, maintenance crew, I'm gonna come find you if this happens again.
Still better than that high school field they were training on when they were at Cheney.
That's true. The other thing I guess I would say is Harvey talked about how she thought the team was in total control until the second goal, and then it kind of just seemed like maybe they got too comfortable, maybe a little bit fatigued. They just had their foot off the gas, which I think everyone could probably see that's exactly what happened. Which is hard to do.
Yeah, she's also going to need to learn, like, with the players that she has now, like, there's also going to be a bit of a curve for her to figure out, okay, well, that's when this player is looking and getting tired.
Yeah, the press the whole time is maybe not going to work. I
think it's going to work, but I think that you need to realize when it's not working, and if you want to keep doing it, you have to swap your players out.
Yeah, or change little things, which I think had mentioned that in the 2 or 3 questions they had in the player one.
Yeah.
And just adapting to what was happening on the field. So they were capable of it, and they, got 3 points, which is all that matters. Anything else you want to add before we move on to the player of the match?
No.
Okay. Cooler Play of the Match. Cooler Play of the Match is brought to you by the Doctor's Office, a great little 12-seat bar out on Capitol Hill. The owner is a big fan of the rain and is proud to be our very first sponsor. Who are we giving it to this week?
I'm gonna say that maybe she listened to our podcast last week.
Had to have. That's the only explanation.
Has to have.
Has to have.
James Turner.
Yeah. Well done.
Oh, absolute turnaround. And you might not have necessarily noticed it if you're just watching. I mean, if you're just watching the highlights, you're not going to see it. But as a whole, she was everywhere she needed to be. And it just seemed like she stepped into like a position that somehow she understood, and it played out flawlessly this game. She came back and blocked so many crosses, got in the way, helped out the defense. She was playing the 6 role pretty much, and I was blown away.
Yeah, I think Fishlock was also blown away. I mean, I think Fishlock knew she had that in her, but like you could tell there was so much pride in that performance with her, in the way that she was reacting to her after the game, and in the press, or like the post-match presser and stuff. It was very short, but I feel like you could just see Jess she was excited for her, because it doesn't seem like Haz is very I don't know, she's kind of like a stoic, kind of not super expression person.
Yeah.
And you could tell Jess was just kind of giddy for her.
I loved watching that.
Yeah,
but I think too, like you were saying in last week's episode, there's something there. We knew that because we see it with the Welsh team. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Okay.
Yeah. I need to see the consistency, but the fact that she went from having a pretty horrible game to this is pretty neat, and at least makes me feel that, like, okay, this might be the right player for this team.
I'm gonna expect it now.
Yeah, she's capable of it. Do it every week.
I like when these like questionable choices that Harvey makes. We're like, oh God, why are you doing this? And then you're like, oh, that's why. Okay.
I think James Turner was on that subreddit thing again. I think so. I think she was also on that list of players. Wow. I mean, maybe we don't know anything we're talking about, you know?
This is why I don't coach anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Let the coaches do what they need to do. Yeah. So shout out James Turner. Congrats. Second player this season for Cooler Player of the Match.
The doctor's office is the blessed.
Hashtag blessed.
Hashtag blessed. The doctor's office is the best place to grab a drink before or after a rain match. Take a page out of my book and try their vodka martini. Like a spy, their house vodka martini is precise, sneaky, and ice cold. It also comes in a cool little like beaker thing. Anyway,
like a scientist.
You know, I got to like concoct my own little drink. Anyway, check out their Instagram at TDO Seattle, or better yet, go drink there in person.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Clink.
Clink.
Didn't do that last time.
Can we take a short break?
Yeah, let's take a short break. We'll be right back.
Thank you for listening to the Sounder at Heart Podcast Network, which now includes No Sarietes, Lobbing Scorchers, and the Cooler Guild. We've been independent since August of 2023, but need your support to make sure it continues. Although this podcast is free, it's only made possible by your continued support. Memberships start as low as $25 a year, which not only helps make podcasts like this one happen, but also gets you access to everything we produce. If you're able to support us at higher levels, starting at $75 a year, you gain access to a host of other perks, most notably entry into our members-only Discord, where the smartest, funniest, and most engaged commenters share their thoughts and ideas. To find out more, just visit sounderatheart.com and click the subscribe button in the top right corner. Thanks for listening.
We are back. We have got, it sounds like Van reached out. I have been enjoying the sunny weather and also trying to uncover a mystery in my house, which has been, I think, solved. Very mysterious, I know. But Van had reached out.
It was her shoe.
Yeah, that's all you're going to know. Keep the mystery flowing. Come back next week and maybe you'll find out what happened. Community questions. She reached out into the Discord and got some stuff apparently. So let's hear it.
So best friend of the pod, Susie Rant, asked us, aside from the goals, what was your favorite thing about the match?
I was like, I haven't even seen these questions, so really I'm going for it. Best thing I saw in the match?
Or the best thing about the match?
About the match.
Favorite thing about the match?
I mean, I did really like Laura Harvey's jacket. Like, I looked it up later and tried to find it. You want to go first?
I was just going to reiterate the chemistry point. That was my favorite thing, is just seeing the players working together and being a team.
Yeah, I think I'll add on to that. I think my favorite part after seeing that little movie that they had was the huddle and Jess's speech in the huddle. I can't tell you what it sounds like because I'm not that kind of, I don't have that energy, that kind of energy. But I really enjoyed seeing that huddle and then kind of knowing how that ended as well.
It worked. Sometimes those can get really cringy.
Yeah, definitely. I've seen some from some certain players who I've
and
definitely
some certain teams
who I've definitely sent to you and been like, LOL. This would make me want to quit the team.
Mm-hmm.
But not that one. That one's good.
Another question from Susie. Emily Mason debut. Let's talk about it. How do you think she did?
I think she did great.
I think she did great. And I noticed in the first half, they kind of had Jaden Shaw on that side a little bit. And then she actually switched over. I mean, she kind of moves to both sides, but it seemed like Jaden Shaw had more success against Madison Curry than she did against Emily Mason.
Jaden Shaw is very good, so that's not a huge knock on Curry, but
no,
yeah.
not at all.
Yeah, but yeah,
I think it's
agree.
just the type of player, and
yeah, I do think Harvey talked about this in her post-match presser, but Emily Mason was like primarily a center back, and she hadn't trained as a fullback for like 5 years. And then, this season and stuff, Harvey kind of switched her over to that.
You mean outside back?
Yeah, outside back, right back, right? So this is a new thing for her, and I think maybe we're seeing the center back in her and her defensive prowess there.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that other than the kind of weird thing with the goal, there weren't any bad things to take away. There were a couple of times where you saw that she had some speed, and she was able to get back, and she did a really good job of like cutting players off right at the edge of the 18 on the outside.
It's that youth, man.
It's that youth. But again, that's another young player that comes in and has a successful game. So, I mean, I talked about her in the preseason, and I think that, again, and I don't know how much more we can stress a preseason and a full preseason than the results that we're seeing now. Because
I thought the comment was funny about like all it took to like get this chemistry and the trust in team was they had to like murder each other
because of the Traders game. Yeah.
They had to murder each other first, and now everything's clicking now that they've murdered each other.
I mean, Susie, you'd probably have much more insight than we do about this. Maybe not. I don't know. But I think that she played well, and I liked what I saw out of her, and I liked the way that she was able to close players off, and she made a couple really important tackles. So I'm excited to see more.
What's next?
June asked, said, I'd love to hear y'all's Claudia takes. To which I responded with the claw emoji.
I feel like you're being called out specifically.
Probably. Look, I think she had a really good game. And I think we should see more of that. And this is what I wanted to see out of her. I never wanted her to be bad. I feel like everybody thinks I always wanted her to be bad. No, I just expected more.
Yeah.
And I think we're starting to see that, because a lot of the time, the last couple of seasons, she was making mistakes or not making saves that she should have made. We knew that she was capable of making, and the consistency just wasn't there. But this entire match, she had that consistency. I think her distribution's also getting better. She's smarter about where she's playing the ball. So I think I'm into it.
I think we're seeing specifically, there was one save specifically where I was like, oh, there's the basketball player in her.
Was it the big two-handed catch?
Well, it was the one. She like tipped it, right? And I was
that
like,
was
oh
the
God.
one that I was like most critical of, because I was like, girl, get both hands behind that ball.
I was like, oh God, this is not going to go well. But she tipped it up and then she caught it, right? But like, I was really seeing her basketball like skills in this match.
Yeah, that screamed basketball.
It kind of makes me nervous when I see it happening, because she got like a scholarship for being a basketball player, which a full ride, right? Like, so I guess I didn't realize it was that
dual sport.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, she played a couple games for UNC.
Crazy. So maybe I wasn't always supportive of the dual sport athlete and this basketball thing that everyone's always like saying she's so good at it. Okay, maybe I was wrong.
No, I think that's definitely not something that you should do in a soccer game. But if you look back on that play, it was kind of out of nowhere, and she got a hand behind it.
Yeah,
and was able to recover. So whatever.
Yeah, she's got that.
It's not the prettiest shit you'll ever see, but it works.
Yeah,
as long as she can keep doing that, I'm into it.
Yeah. I didn't hate it.
No. Next up, we've got Rick. Welcome, Rick. Discuss the significance of this lineup and how much we can take from this going forward. It's early, they're young, but it looked solid, and it was at North Carolina. Not really the lineup, but the depth and combo of players too, and with significant players out. I think that's the biggest thing for me is the depth.
Yeah, and they're ready. That was I think that was the question more so than anything else was, are these young players that we're going to be relying on them with the depth, are they even ready? They're ready to even start and then go and play in North Carolina. Yeah. So hell yeah. And I'm fired up about it.
I think, when you're bringing players on like Lou Barnes towards at the very end of the game, you're bringing Olo got in. which was amazing to see. We've been waiting for that. But Mesa came on. I think Mesa played 20 minutes.
Loved watching Mesa.
Mesa came on in the 70th minute. Also, fun fact, 7.3 FOP mob rating for 20 minutes.
I really enjoy watching her play.
Me too. So I think that when you look at the players we started and the players that we were able to bring on, and even the players that are backups, right? Or not even backups, but that were still left on the bench. You have Hannah Glass. You've got Julia Lester.
Haven't seen a lot from her, but she's been good in the past.
Ainsley McCammon, which we haven't seen a lot of her, but I'm sure that will come with time. And then Heidema. So I think the depth is there. And it's...
Remember our depth last year?
What depth?
Exactly.
It was a shallow.
I don't know that we have and this could happen. We don't know with these young players, and maybe some of them will step up and be huge stars. But you look at the Reign, and I think people are like, well, you don't have a Barbara Banda kind of thing, right? No one has a Barbara Banda besides Orlando, but you know what I mean, right? So yeah. I don't think we look at our team and are like, that's the superstar on our team, right? But I think we have so many interesting pieces who have so many different skill sets, and now they have chemistry with each other. It's pretty... I think teams should be worried about us because they've also seemed to have ambitions too. And
I think that, like you were saying, there's not a star player minus Biondolo, but she's not even playing.
That's what I'm saying. That's, I guess, why I'm saying it's because she's not even playing yet.
I was looking at the lineup from the last time we played North Carolina, which was August 25th, 2024. That was a home game. Excuse me. We played at Lumen Field. And at that point, we had Huerta, we had Quinn, Fishlock, Heidema, and King started. And off the bench, it was Athens, Mondesir, Howell, Let's Go, Adames.
It was a lot of new.
Yeah, and these players were new.
Yeah. New to the team. No preseason. Just get in there and try your best, I guess.
We did win that game.
Did we?
1-0 on a Casey Murphy own goal in 90+7. Do you remember this?
Wow. Was that the Pino match?
No, because that's the one that
what was the other
Adames scored in.
We had a lot of... Well, they called Adames' goal a different goal, didn't they? They didn't credit that to her. The Pino match.
Did they not?
No.
Was this the own goal game?
That's what I was asking.
Oh, this was the start of that 3-game win streak. Remember when I was like, are we going to make the playoffs?
Okay.
Anywhoser.
We didn't.
Got down one of my ADHD rabbit holes there. So yeah, I think that we have the tools to be a successful team this year. And we're figuring out how to use them appropriately and successfully. And I don't care that we're pulling out a 2-1 win when you're getting blasted, the last 20 minutes of the game. You're still winning.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you got to do. So thank you for the questions. You got anything else you want to put on that stuff?
No. Let's move on quickly. Wrap up the rest of the results from the league. Things that we saw that we liked or did not like. I'm still keeping Casey on Fraud Watch. I don't care that they won against the Spirit. I will say, if we're proving that they're not on Fraud Watch because they won, I would rather be wrong, and that means that the Spirit lost. I'm fine with that. But I'm going to keep them on Fraud Watch just because their first goal was a penalty, and does that really count? I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like they do look very threatening. It's just not completely there yet.
It's early.
It will probably get there. But for now, it's not. So yeah, that's where I'm at with it.
Portland tied Angel City 1-1.
Battle of the boring teams.
Battle of the boring. Orlando beat Gotham 2-0, but there was an own goal, like a really, really terrible own goal, 1 minute and 7 seconds into the match.
And then the other goal was a penalty.
Did you see this own goal?
Mm-mm.
Oh, it was bad. And it was this poor player's first professional start.
Oh, no.
Yeah. There's also something that maybe we'll come back to. Do you want to do this at the end?
I mean, I feel like we can just make note of it and make our thoughts known about it, I guess. Because this episode's already going on pretty long. But this game, the Orlando Gotham game, was in New Jersey. I think they play in New Jersey. But there was some comments from some people, at least one person in the stadium, that a fan definitely caught them saying some transphobic and racist remarks towards Barbara Banda. And I guess the person like went to tell security and they just got a warning to this person. So now there's like a league wide or like an investigation into what happened. Hopefully they get this person banned for life. There's no place for any of that in the sport. I don't know, no player deserves to be treated like that. Just because Barbara Banda is an incredible soccer player doesn't mean you get to be a piece of shit to her. Yeah, do you want to add on to that?
I think that when we're like, dude, we don't tolerate this, we need to tell people we don't fucking tolerate this. The league needs to take a deafening fucking stand on this.
Yeah.
This needs to be addressed. This needs to be fucking killed at the start. This should not be happening in the NWSL.
No.
And I feel like we might be getting the initial treatment that the WNBA has been getting. Like it's kind of at the start of that. When you see these influx, the sport gets a little bit more popular and you see this influx of people that don't understand that these players especially and the culture surrounding this game does not fucking support your racist, transphobic bullshit.
Yeah.
Especially in the stadium.
Yeah, and with the current administration, it's just even more important than ever to make sure that you shut it down.
Yeah, shut it down quick.
Yeah, because she's gonna have to go back to Florida and play a lot of games, and that's not a good place to be when people are deciding to be assholes, uninformed assholes.
It happens all the time in the men's game, which it shouldn't. But there's always just like we stand for everyone, blah blah blah. No,
we don't stand with.
No,
people.
They try and put out these PC fucking press releases and shit. No, find out who that person is, because I'm sure somebody probably got it on a cell phone somewhere. It's probably on some sort of mic that picked it up.
They usually have the emails of these people who sit in those seats.
Yeah,
it's not hard to identify these people
and get it out.
Yeah,
done. You're done.
Yeah,
make a statement. Fine them. I don't know. I hate to see it. She doesn't deserve it. And if anybody fucking does that in Seattle, I will find you.
Yeah, if you ever see anybody doing that shit, call them out and then also inform security and also do not make them feel welcome. So it's the best thing you can do.
Yeah. It's not how we roll.
I don't think I really have much else worth highlighting.
There was this pretty sick goal in the Bay game.
Yeah, there was. It almost stole the goal of the week from Bug, but nah. Nah. It was a very good goal, though. Other thing, I guess one other thing. Bethany Balser is taking a mental health break from the sport. Sounds like she's not finding joy in playing. Don't know if the trade maybe had something to do with it. I'm sure that was not easy on somebody. But I know she's also got a bunch of other stuff that she's working on outside of soccer. So I hope she's all right. Hope she gets on her feet. And yeah.
I'm glad players are able to take care of themselves.
Yeah, didn't used to have that in the league. So other results: Houston 2, Chicago 1, San Diego 3, Utah 2. That was a high scoring game. Houston did win. I'm just gonna go ahead and say I know she was against Chicago, but I'm still hyping up Houston.
Yeah.
You want to roll into the next thing?
Yeah. So very recently, the U.S. Women's National Team call-ups happened, and Cool is back. I mean, Cook.
The graphic got messed up.
The graphic got messed up and said Cool instead of Alana Cook. So
That's
bringing her
cool.
back. Yeah, good for her.
Yeah.
We knew that, she had it in her, and hoped that her being able to move environments would facilitate her getting back to where she was. And apparently they're seeing that there. So
very cool. Valentos Joyce also getting the call
hell
up.
yeah.
If she gets I need to see her in a game.
Yeah, she needs to play. Definitely. Rodman's back for the first time since the Olympics.
It's fun. The Lily Johannes hype train.
Hop on.
If you aren't already, then I don't know what you're doing with your life. I always love any chance we get to see her.
Yeah, Lily Johannes is incredible. They're also going to announce the U23 camp on Wednesday. and that's going to run at the same time as the U.S. Women's National Team April window. And I fear that we're going to have several players in that.
Yeah, we don't have any because I assume just because of Biandola's injury, that's why she's not getting the call up. Plus, they want to look at other people. But yeah, I think that's where we're gonna get hit. But good for them. They deserve it. They'll earn it. Hopefully, we're deep enough and maybe get some other people back.
We don't play a
healthy.
lot of games during that break, though.
But still, I don't want to see anything bad happen to them.
That's true. But I think it'll also be when we do have 1 or 2 games during that period. It'll be a test for the bench.
And same with other teams because they've also got players. It's not just us; it's everybody.
So that depth that we've been touting will be put to the test.
Yep.
Other things in the NWSL, the Reign announced today that they signed Sally Menti to a short-term contract through June 2025, and she was with us through the preseason. I watched her highlight video from college, and this girl can play a through ball. She can drop a dime. So it'll be interesting to see that. Excited for that. Got another one of your favorite Brazilian players.
Oh, well, I don't want them on Gotham. We're being honest here. That's the last team I want to see a Brazilian on. Well, maybe Spirit, but second would be Gotham. But yeah, Gotham signed a Brazilian. Do you know how to pronounce it properly?
Did not look that up.
I don't know how to say. I mean, I usually know a little bit of Portuguese pronunciations, but I'm a little bit at a loss.
Geise?
Sure. When she gets her first goal or something, I'll go.
Yeah, that's just a loan for Manchester United, though.
Next match for the Reign. We got Reign versus Angel City on Sunday, March 30th, 5 p.m. in LA. That one's going to be on CBS Sports Network. Have fun finding that.
It's on Paramount Plus, too.
Is it, though? Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's tricky. I don't know. That's why I said good luck. Because I have trouble sometimes. Previous results for Angel City. What do we got?
They 1-1 draws. They have 2 points. They played San Diego and Portland, and they tied both games 1-1.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, we should go there and win. You were saying maybe this undefeated streak might end, but like we should beat them.
Yeah, we should beat them. They look lost.
Unless there's a really good crowd or something. I don't know.
I think that from what I've seen from us compared to what I've seen from Angel City, we should go there and win.
Yeah.
And if they can shut down Alyssa Thompson, then we will have even more of a chance.
I feel good about it.
I do too.
I put things that we want to see. I mean, I spoke for you and me, I guess, because you didn't put anything else.
No, I totally agreed.
I want to see a clean sheet.
Yeah, I saw you put that, and I was like, yep, that's exactly what I want to see too.
Our defense has been good. It hasn't been great yet, just because I think we're capable of getting a clean sheet.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any reason we can't do that against Angel City.
No, especially if you're able to, like I said, shut down Alyssa Thompson.
Shout outs, what do you got?
I wanted to shout out the Reigns video team. We talked about kind of the content that they've been putting out, and it's just been really good. And even as somebody that's like going to be a fan either way, it's really, really good to see, especially like the quality.
Yeah.
It's not even the amount of content, it's the quality of the content. And it just finally feels like the front office is able to do what they've been wanting to do for a while. Yeah,
it's what the team deserves. They need this kind of coverage, and they've deserved it for a long time. And the best part about women's soccer is always the storytelling for me. So it's fun to finally kind of see that investment and have the funds behind it to give out this kind of video product and all that stuff. But I'm looking forward. I'm hoping they're going to do more of these things. It seems like maybe they're only doing them for wins. I don't really know. That would kind of make sense, I guess. But they seem to have a lot of footage like ready to go with that. So I was curious on kind of what they're doing there, but maybe I could find out later. I don't know. Maybe it's a secret. Secrets. No, I've thoroughly, like, I'm not a huge YouTube person other than watching like game highlights and things. Yeah, me too. So it's getting me on there. I have turned alerts on YouTube for Reign content. Yeah, between that and the traders. I mean, the traders, they could definitely up the audio quality next time, but they got the subtitles, so I knew what was going on. Yeah. So I just shout out to
whoever's on the Rain video team. I can look it up, but I'm gonna wait till you keep doing your good shit.
Yeah.
And then we'll do a whole thing.
I think that's pretty much it for the episode, right?
Yeah. I think we want to thank our sponsors, the Doctor's Office and Hacks and Ferments.
If you want to go follow us on Bluesky or Instagram, we're at Cooler Guild Pod.
You can send us an email. We love an email at thecoolerguild@gmail.com.
Go to our main website. What? We're gonna
I
do
was
it?
just gonna say the same thing. It's fine.
Okay. You can go to our main website, sounderatheart.com/the Cooler Guild. They're not doing pop-ups to like try to encourage you to go and get a subscription. Highly recommend it. Although you can get most of this stuff for free, especially if you sign up for their email subscriptions. But that's how you support local independent soccer coverage,
Which is super important.
Yeah,
because if we were on a main, by some weird thing, we were on a main big company, we wouldn't have the ability to have the expression and creativity that they allow us.
That's right. And with their upgraded cameras, we're slowly but surely getting stuff together on YouTube. I'm apologizing right now that our audio is not synced up, but it's amateur hour over here. But we are working on it. We are trying to get to the bottom of it. But if you want to go follow us, give us a click. YouTube.com/the-Cooler-Guild.
Yeah, it's the same audio. We just get the video. The audio just seems to be a little bit before the video or after the video.
Yeah. It's a more uncut version, though. So if you're looking for,
looking for some extras for every time I fuck up,
that's where you go.
That's exactly where you go.
We are getting a few more followers on there. Subscribers? What do you call them? I don't know. We'll figure it out. But that's the future.
We are growing just like the team.
Yeah. Go rate wherever you listen, 5 stars. Till next time. Stay cool, y'all.
I'm Van.
I'm Coop. Bye.
Bye.
Has it resumed on your side?
Oh, sorry. I thought it was still paused.
No, I just unpaused it and Van just put out the biggest burp. And I didn't tell her I unpaused it. I thought she would just notice, but it was straight into the mic.
I just sat down.
Oh my god.